Welcome back, and in this quick and short video I want to go over the jungle changes only, and if you want me to go over every champion change, let me know in the comments, but my channel is all about jungling in the first place, so I think talking about the junglers only is a good idea, but I'm open to other options as well. Let's not waste any time and let's start with Pantheon Jungle, because this guy was nerfed previously. I mean, in the previous patch, because he was way overturned before that, especially in the high ranks. I mean, for the most part in the high ranks, because in the lower ranks I never thought about this champion being too good overall. So his Q monster modifier goes from 0.75 to 0.8, which basically stands for 80%, and his W Mio monster cap goes up by 30 as well. Previously this was 200, then Riot nerfed it to 120, and now it's 150, so basically at the middle after these changes he's got slightly buffed, which is definitely deserved. But I'm not sure what to think about these changes, because in the lower ranks he is garbage right now at his current state, while at the high ranks he's, well, playable and he's decent, but I'm just not a fan of having Pantheon in the jungle. That's my honest thought. So I don't really mind him being weak and him not even being a good jungler, because I'm not sure if people from jungle who are actually jungle mains are missing this guy or like want to see him in the jungle. Like overall you don't see this champion in the jungle and you don't see him on the top lane either, besides Wandrix. Him being buffed is whatever, it will have the average play, but obviously it will have a higher impact on him at the higher ranks where he was played the most in the previous patches anyways. But if you're in the lower ranks, just avoid this guy. Pointless to play in my opinion. Briar passive stack goes down by 2, so this change will do nothing, because this champion is so overturned, it has like a 52% or even maybe a higher win rate than that in the lower ranks. If you are below gold or if you are gold, between basically anything between iron and emerald, just abuse the hell out of this champion. She's super broken, but I thought a few patches ago that Briar is actually too fair to play. Well, I guess what? They made her even more broken. But the thing is, since this champion release, she is just unstoppable. She's just a menace. She does one thing, which is destroying people and start checking people in the lower ranks. She does that perfectly. So she will stay broken. She will stay above 50% of these nerfs. Probably even above 51%, because like I said, I was looking at Briar earlier on EULA.GG and I saw that she has a 52 or 53% win rate, which is just insane in the lower ranks. So these passive nerfs will do nothing, and she will need another nerf to balance her down and balance her out a little bit more, to the point where she reaches that 50% mark, because that's the healthy spot for a champion. And it's hard to keep it there, obviously, because itemization, meta, and all that can affect the win rate really badly. Orianna, whatever, mid lane change, Volibear, passive damage, so his bonus AP scaling goes down on passive, and E damage, the bonus AP goes down as well, while his base damage on passive and E are untouched, which once again will do nothing, because AP Volibear is just insane. Even if you just go with Cosmic Drive and buy Naori, and then you go full Bruiser, full HP, armor, and MR, you will out-heal, out-sustain, and out-damage everyone. And this guy is just so overtuned in the jungle, especially for the lower ranks. But even if you look at his win rates and look at his data between Emerald and like Diamond, you will see that he's chilling at around 50 to 51% win rate, which is really good for a champion this easy like Volibear, because that means Wandrix will have close to 55% win rate on him, while even the average player who is first timing Volibear is having fun and having a blast and has over 50% win rate, or I mean has over 50% chance to actually win the game. Warwick AD growth decreased and attack speed growth being decreased as well. Well, nice. His attack speed is scary. his itemization, his runes just give him so much attack speed, and his kit overall just gives him so much attack speed. Like, there is no reason that a melee champion should have this much attack speed. And I'm saying this as someone who used to play Warwick a lot, and even I was a one-trick at one point when many seasons ago I reached Diamond for the first time. I was a Warwick one-trick mainly, but yeah, his AD growth nerf is nice as well, and expected attack speed growth definitely deserved as well. And the good thing about these changes are that it will affect top lane Warwick, which for a while now is way better than jungle Warwick. I'm honestly not sure how should Riot fix Warwick so he's being less played on top lane, but they should figure out. But right now, even in the jungle, he's overtuned. He's just still better. As the higher you go in ranks, the better he becomes on top lane than in the jungle. That's just how it goes with pretty much any champion in the game who is dominating in the lower ranks. Same goes for Volibear, but the difference is, since I say this many times, he is a better version of Warwick. I mean, Volibear, of course. But even after these changes, don't underestimate, don't overthink it. Just abuse the hell out of these champions. Briar, still really broken. Volibear, same thing. Insanely broken. Warwick. These three are the kings and the queens of the jungle. Just abuse the hell out of them. Because low meta right now is ban Briar, ban Warwick, and ban Volibear, or pick one of them. Riot is trying to release a patch which they can get away with, like an easy to balance patch. They don't want to break anything. After all, I get it. They want to play words. This is the patch pros are going to play words on. So obviously you don't want to mess up anything and make something super broken. Yeah, let's go through the Wukong changes, and lastly I will go through the grave changes, which even just from looking at it, I don't like, but I will go into details. So Wukong, Q bonus AD ratio goes down, W cooldown goes up, W damage goes down, and E damage goes up. Well, Wukong right now is a good jungler. Obviously, they are trying to balance him before Worlds, because most likely we are going to see Wukong jungler during Worlds. In my opinion, even in solo queue, he's pretty good right now. He's really good. So if you're not playing Wukong, you are making a big mistake. And these changes, I don't think that are big enough to actually destroy Wukong after these, in solo queue at least. And I don't think that it will be big enough to destroy him in pro play either. But I'm gonna be hyped to see what pros are going to play during Worlds. So let's talk about the grave changes. Let's see how our boy is doing after these adjustments, so-called adjustments. So far I already see that, okay, he's losing damage instead of gaining that much damage. Well, the first Q damage is being slightly increased, but you lose on bonus AD, and you're losing 15%. Okay. I hope the rest is good then. So the second part of your queue, the most important one, goes up by 35 as well. And we are losing 25% of bonus AD. And the queue total damage will go up by 60, but we are losing 40% of our bonus AD. I was hoping for an adjustment, Riot. And I wasn't hoping for a nerf, because you might as well just call this a nerf. Your total damage on Q was increased, but is only reliant on most consistent build, which is full AD, weighing with crit, lethality items into crit, is getting worse. How is this benefiting me as a Grace player who is struggling with his champion? Overall, every Grace player, so it's not just me, everyone who is a Grace player is struggling because the champion is not amazing. He's been worse before, so I won't complain, but he's not great right now either. So I don't see how this change, nerfing his AD build, which is his most consistent, most played build, is a good thing. But also, because they increased the base AD on his Q, now I assume they want us to play Bruiser Graves, which is great. That build is dog shit. Why would anyone want to go Bruiser Graves? The itemization is messed up, Riot. We want to go lethality, otherwise our clear is dogshit as well. But if you want us to go bruiser, we can no longer go with lethality. You messed up how Eclipse works on ranged champions because of the disgusting champions like Senna, so you had to nerf it to the ground and make it a good item or like a decent item for bruiser champions, but then like fighters, but then ranged champions are not buying the item anymore. And unfortunately, because Graves is ranged, he had to give up on the item as well, because that item was amazing on him. That's the biggest problem with Graves, that whenever an item is good and can be used on ranged champions, someone, and that someone is usually freaking Senna, can abuse the hell out of the item. But I still remember when AD carries were going for Eclipse, because Riot just messed up. But my point is, unfortunately, melee items are not, or like items that are designed mainly for melee champions are not great for Graves, because after all, he's not a melee champion. And ranged items are usually not that great on Graves, because the other champions with bigger range and better stats can abuse the hell out of those items. So it's really tragic. You want me to go bruiser, but the bruiser itemization is just dogshit for Graves jungle, and you are nerfing my only viable build, which is going full AD. So I'm really sad about this change. I was hyped because I was expecting some really good adjustments and we're all a buff to Graves, but instead we got a dogshit change, because now the already weak bruiser build got better, which is still not recommended, and my most optimal build, which is still not the best because Graves been way better in the past, is now weaker. So how is this benefiting me as a Graves player? Why aren't you just calling this overall a nerf? Because you're nerfing my main build and you are looking to buff a build which is not even reliable. I don't want to be tankier and stay for longer in fights when I'm pretty much just healing the enemy opponent, which can out-heal me, out-sustain me any time of the day, and I basically did no damage to them. Why is that benefiting me at all? Because I don't think that this is benefiting me at all. But next week, I might as well just look at the stats and compare it to the live patch and to the PB patch and see the number differences. Let's see if Matt has to say something about this. Okay, so Graves. We spoke a bit yesterday about Graves changes. Meant to say that most Graves go for this type of squishy, no durability, one-shot builds, only shield bow on fort. Well, yeah, because that's his most reliable build. That's his best build he can go right now, which is building lethality into crit items, because you made him this way after all the dogshit item changes you made. And I'm not saying the old Bruiser Graves. The last time Bruiser Graves was good was when Gold Drinker was an item in the game still. You started to kill the Gold Drinker, and now, well, we know how that ended up. It was an overtuned item, everyone abused the hell out of it, so once again, every champion, whenever an item is good, can abuse it way more than Graves. So, after all, Graves loses the most, because everyone just swaps to the next item, but Graves has nothing left. So he has to mix lethality, but you screwed off lethality items overall, I would say, as well. Without the Dirk, his clear is dogshit. His damage is dogshit. His first power spike is obviously off the first Dirk, but that's still not a massive spike, because the first time Graves becomes a good champion in the game is between 10 to 50 minutes mark, when you already got Humus and you got your second Dirk. That's a huge boost in terms of damage. But if you nerf that, because you are nerfing the extra AD ratio on my Q, then my champion will be just weaker than what he is right now. If you are boosting the base damage on his Q and you want my champion to be more spell-oriented, then you might as well buff his ult as well. It's not like everyone wants to play squishy full AD crit Graves. We want full lethality Graves as well, because it's a lot of fun and we want to have fun. After all, it's a game, so we want to enjoy it. Unfortunately, he is right. And this is why it's kind of important to play Graves with the Mafia skin. But yeah. This was my rant about Graves changes, and I will come with a comparison video to see how this will affect Graves, but I don't see any good change about this. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about these changes? What do you think about my preview? And see you all in my next video. Peace, peace.